Have you finished developing a plugin and want to publish it for others to use? In this video, you will learn how to do so. In the Gradle documentation, you can search for Publishing Plugin and click on the first result. Here, you can go to Adding the Plugin section. Applying the Publishing plugin adds tasks that allow you to create the metadata and jar files needed for the publishing of your plugin to a repository. We'll copy this. In the plugin build file, we can apply the plugin and reload the configs. Now we can view the available publishing tasks. Before we can use these tasks, we need to add some configuration for the publishing plugin. In the documentation, we can scroll to the next section where it outlines what configuration we need to add. To publish the plugin to a local repository, at minimum, we need to provide the group, version, ID, and implementation class. The ID and implementation class are in the Gradle plugin configuration block, whereas the group and version are outside it. In the plugin build file, we can see the ID and implementation class are already configured. We can add a group and version to the build file. Finally, we need to configure where to publish the plugin. We can start with publishing to a local directory. In the documentation, there is an example of how to add configuration for publishing a plugin to a local directory. We can use this as a starting point. We'll paste this in the build file and change the location to be inside the build directory using the layout variable. We can run the publish task and see the plugin available in the repository in the build directory. We can test this out in our consumer project. In the settings file, in the plugin management block, we can comment out the include build and instead specify our local repository from which to get the plugin. We can also specify the Gradle Plugin Portal since the consumer project build will get other plugins from there. In the build file, we can specify the version as well. Let's reload the config and make sure everything is working. And we should still be able to run the lock coverage gains task. We can now look on how to publish to the Gradle Plugin Portal. We can go to the Account Setup section. In order to publish to the Gradle Plugin Portal, you will need to create an account, which the docs go over how to do so. Once you've created the account, you will need to create API keys. These can be stored in your user home Gradle.properties file. Do not put the API keys in a publicly visible file such as the project's Gradle.properties file. To publish to the Gradle Plugin Portal, we will need additional configuration in the Gradle plugin block. We will need to add the display name, description, and tags. Once this has been done, you can delete the publishing configuration that was added to publish to a local repository. And now run the Publish Plugins task. If you want to publish your plugin to Maven Central, refer to the documentation on this topic, as there are additional steps needed, such as signing your artifacts. We have now covered all the steps needed to author a plugin and publish it for others to consume.